Good evening. So, on behalf of SkillActz, gathered here today, 1 second. Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, Jovia, we can hear you.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. So, good evening. On behalf of SkillActz, I warmly welcome you all to another session of our Industry Connect series. Today's session is about AI advantage, learn, build, and work. 5 free tools, 10 ways with instant demonstrations and practical applications. This session is designed to offer valuable insights into how artificial intelligence can be effectively leveraged for learning, development, and career growth. We are honored to have with us an eminent industry leader to address this important topic. It is my distinct pleasure to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Krishna Kumar, Chief Executive Officer of Green Pepper. We are grateful to you, sir, for taking the time to share expertise with us today. I welcome all others who are present here today. I encourage you to speak up, make this interactive session, and I hope you get the maximum knowledge out of this. Students are requested to note that a Google form will be shared at the conclusion of this session. Kindly ensure that you complete the form to receive your certificate of participation. To formally introduce our esteemed speaker, I now invite Mrs. Meena Nair, Vice President and Head Operations, Learning and Development at SkillActz. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Jovia. Good evening, everybody, and a special, very warm welcome to Krishna Kumar. Um, Students, all those who are listening in, you're in for a treat because I have attended one of his sessions during a leadership program, and it was just mind-boggling the way you were able, Krishna Kumar, how you were able to simplify it and make us all understand. So I'm really using a lot of the techniques that you presented that day, and I think students are also going to really benefit from that. So I'm sure today, in today's world, all of us look out for, well, as soon as we know somebody, we have to meet someone, we Google them or we look at LinkedIn. So if I'm sure many of you have seen the LinkedIn profile, it is astounding what you have done, astonishing. Worked with almost 150 startups, helped to place 3,000 plus people, worked with Fortune 500 companies, right now working with generative AI and helping to do multiple workshops, which is also helping about 3,000 plus, 300,000, I think, or you said, or 3,000 people you have helped, 300,000, you're 30,000, sorry, 30,000 people who have attended your workshops. So that is astonishing. And I can understand how you're working with IITs, IIMs, and also many, many companies. And I can totally understand why people are inviting you, because the session I had attended itself was an eye opener, and I'm sure I won't stand between you and the students. So a very, very warm welcome to you, Krishna Kumar, once again. Students also, he because he's a very busy person, there is another commitment that he has. So today's session will be a little shorter. So what I would request all of you to do is, as you're listening to him, whatever questions you have, just put it in the chat. In case there is time, he will respond to it. Otherwise, we'll collect the questions and maybe another session or at some other point you'll be able to give us those responses. Over to you, Krishna Kumar.
Hey, thank you, Meena. Everyone joining here for this session. It's a pleasure to be here, first of all, to share some of the things which I've learned over a period of time. The idea here is that AI is for everyone. It's not just for tech people. First things first, right? So let's understand this is the most interesting technology I've ever seen in the last, say, 15, 20 years of my career. Even though I've worked with different technologies over a period of 2 decades of whatever I've been doing in my entrepreneurial venture. Okay, so the last 3 years has been super exciting, especially in terms of exploring AI tools and finding out use cases for various sectors, industries, people, different sorts of professionals. So today we're going to have like she said, it's a short sprint session, but make sure that this is going to be useful for you. 30-40 minutes of session explaining, say, 20 things which you can do with AI, and say, exploring 10 tools as well, right? So let's keep it straightforward, right? And if you feel that these ideas are good, don't forget to put +1 in the chat so you get to kind of get the responses as well, because the reactions really make the whole conversation a bit more energetic, right? Great. Um, so, considering that you are in your different years of your undergraduates or like graduation bit in colleges, like let's look at this as a student playbook. When I say student playbook, it's not just about learning; it's also about working and building, right? So right now, students are not just about mugging things up or like learning for exams. People have much broader view of what learning is all about. Learning is to get skills so that the skills can be used to make money, right? That's a very simple explanation when it comes to skills, right? So earlier we had skills to show, to show our credentials, but right now we are looking at skills to earn money, right? So how can we use AI skills, use cases, tools to create economic value, right? That's exactly what we're going to be discussing today. Um, let's explore these are the tools which are there. Generative AI has kind of grown so much in the last 3 years. We see that these tools and technologies are rapidly advancing, like starting from ChatGPT models to Claude to Gemini 3. I mean, right now, Gemini 3 is really competing with ChatGPT for many use cases. Perplexity, like an AI powered search engine, which has redefined the way we search on the web. Canva AI kind of changed how we design things. Gamma, like the presentation which you see right now, is made with AI. It's called Gamma. Lovable, like you have an idea, you want to build a prototype, you can straight away go to Lovable and get some free credits to build your first app, right? Google AI Studio helping you to kind of go and build whatever idea you want to build, right? They always give you 1 million tokens credited to you in the first of the month, before you get started. Suno for exploring music and genres of music. VO3 for creating videos free of cost, like so Google's VO3. Custom GPTs to create task agents for yourself without coding. Google Gems again creating task agents with the Gemini. Atlas and Comet are agentic browser. So I think this is a great team of AI which you have right now in your hands to explore whatever you want, right? So some years back, like 3, 4 years back, when we wanted to do a lot of things, right, it was always a constraint, like resources constraint, time constraint. We never knew like what kind of tools were available. But I think AI has kind of changed the landscape so much that we are able to confidently go ahead and do things, right? Let's say how we learn things. Earlier we kind of get PDFs or YouTube tutorials, and PDFs are boring, right? Like, so you get a 200-page PDF. It's so hard to kind of start reading it, and sometimes you doze off in between reading it. Like, so right now you can have a conversational approach to learning, right? The biggest barrier between you and learning a new subject is like a hard curriculum which has been made by someone who thinks that you like to start things rough, right? But that's not the way to learn things, right? So let's go to ChatGPT and start with basics, right? If I missed out learning physics in my school, I can do it right now, not in the way the textbooks are written, but the way in which I like to learn this, right? So that's the beauty of AI, right? So which AI tool to use, when to switch tools, how to combine them, how to use it as a team is all something which we should learn as students. Let's get started with something like an example of how, for example, I want to learn velocity in physics, right? I don't know how many physics students are there. I want to start with, say, learning velocity with applications, right? In a table, in, say, transportation sector, right? So what if I am working in the transportation sector or in urban mobility, like how people call it, right? And how can we use the concept of velocity in physics for real applications? And I want to learn this in a very crisp fashion, right? And this is all what we need to have: curiosity and a clear question, which will explain the whole thing in a way that we would want to learn, right? And if you learn this, right, you will feel like learning more of it, right? Because you have a clear question in your mind, you have a natural curiosity, like to know about something, right? And this is where you start learning things with AI, right? Now, if you want to know, like, hey, what is average velocity? instantaneous velocity. What all you have to do is to kind of keep asking questions, right? Make it simpler for me to start with, right? Right. What if I am not having any basic knowledge about these things, but explain this in a way that I would appreciate, right? So the way it would start is to kind of simplify the whole concept, right? How fast something moves and in which direction. Simple, right? And then it is giving examples which we would be able to relate better, isn't it? Now, what if I want to make it a conversation, right? Now, I want to learn the whole thing like a conversation. I don't want to learn it like a text, like hard text, right? So now it is going to have a conversation between two people, and all you do is to read that conversation and become part of that learning process, right? Because sometimes we love conversations, right? Now, this is the way we kind of make the whole process of learning very fluid, right? So, three ways students can use AI. One is AI as a tutor. For example, in this case, if you want it to be from, say, Richard Feynman is supposed to be one of the greatest teachers of physics, and I want AI to teach me like how Richard Feynman would do, right? Now, imagine Richard Feynman has been a great proponent of learning by doing. And this is exactly how we can learn physics. People will start loving subjects which we hated ever, right? That's the beauty of AI. And I'm telling you, this is the most beautiful time to learn anything new. You don't need someone in a very specific, rigid framework. All you need is conversations, queries, natural curiosity, and then you go about asking questions the way you really ask questions, right? What's velocity really, right? That's the exact question that you ask, right? And now you are able to picture this, able to see how Richard Feynman would explain this. How many of you feel this is cool, right? Like getting to learn from one of the greatest teachers of physics, right? In a way that would really comfort us, not challenge us, and make us feel excited about the subject, right? Put +1 on the chat if you feel this is great and exciting for you. And I love the way, it happens. So I'm sure that once you start learning like this, you are going to be conceptually stronger, right? The biggest problem in Indian education system is that people kind of memorize things for exams because memory exams are basically based on memory and compliance. So here is an opportunity to make sure that you learn the concepts so clearly that from the foundational level you understand what it is, right? And then build AI as a co-creator, right? Tomorrow you can go to Google AI Studio, right? And then start building on your own, right? So you don't need to learn coding. All you need to know is that what is that which you want to build, right? You can go to Google AI Studio and start building small web apps without having to code the entire app, right? All you have to do is to create a system prompt or a text to app prompt, right? Or and explain the idea of what you really want to do on the prompt, on the chat interface, and Google Gemini is going to code the entire app and give you the preview of the app, right? Once you get the preview of the app, you can actually make changes, you can actually iterate on that, you can refine, you can make, you can play around with that in like less than half a day. You are getting a full app in your hand, which is usable, powered by Gemini 3, and can be shared with other people, right? So this is the beauty, right? So if you have an idea to become a prototype, you don't need a lot of time. All you need to have is to work on at least 10 ideas so that one idea is super interesting, right? So it's not just about working on one idea, it's about working on 10 ideas. You build 10 apps and see whether one can actually cut through the noise and get there to more people, right? To explore more, what you can do is to kind of go through the apps which are already there on the Google AI Studio for you to get an idea of how these things work, right? So we only have 40 minutes, so otherwise I would have built this whole app right in front of you if we had 5 minutes with you, right? Um, and then work AI as a super teammate. AI can be a super research assistant for you, can be a teacher, can be an analyst, can be a data synthesizer, can be a storyteller, can be a task manager, right? Can be an agent. It can be doing various things for you. Imagine the new founder, the new entrepreneur will hire more AI agents in the first place before even trying to work with an intern, right? So this is the new concept, right? So tomorrow, you as a learner coming to the market will probably have to work with more AI agents than probably another human being, right? Or you can get to an organization and you get to work with more AI teammates than probably a colleague herself, right? This is the way it looks like, and I feel that it's not very far away. It's already happening in many organizations, in many startups, right? Now, let's look at like what are the tools which we have right now in place, right from ChatGPT, Claude, custom GPTs, Google Gems, to learn with AI, right? Okay, let's say how many of you have heard about uh, Google Gems? Put plus one on the chat if you've heard about it. If you have not heard about it, it's absolutely fine because I mean, not many people know about it. Uh, maybe put minus one if you have not heard about it. What I'm going to show you is to how to build a small um, task agent for yourself for doing something. Okay, wish you all had a super interesting, funny teacher who can be engaging and to teach you things which you never thought you'd be able to learn, right? So let's say super teacher, right? So I'm going to name it as super teacher, right? Description is teacher who can give clarity in an entertaining way with examples and stories, right? All we want is that, right? What we're going to do is if we need to give some instructions to the Google Gem, right, to create the task agent. So once the idea of what the super teacher is done, what we're going to do is we can copy this, go to ChatGPT, right, and then create instructions, right? And ChatGPT is going to create a Google Gem instruction to explain what this teacher is all about, right? So you're going to keep this as instruction to Google Gem and let it be there, right? And here you can add knowledge. Imagine you have like certain very curated PDFs, right, which talks about how a teacher can be, right, or some books or PDFs or PPTs of some curated knowledge, which is not available for the LLMs at this point in time, and you can add that as an extra knowledge to make that GPT, right? So once you make the GPT, save this, okay, and you can start. So this is basically done, right? So you name the GPT, give the description, give the instructions, and the task agent is done, right? And this is free, okay? You can make it for yourself with Gemini. You don't need a paid version of Gemini to do this, right? So the super teacher gem is made, and you can even share this gem with other people if you like. Okay, let's say we are going to again try the same example of how we tried call velocity, right? Now it's going to say, hello, I am super teacher, right? Ready to dive into exciting world of physics with you. Right now it is going to step one, meeting speed. Let's start with speed, right? It is going to explain the whole concept step by step, right? And then explain what it is and giving a story, a race car driver story, so that you kind of relate to it, and then start explaining the rest of it by sharing the big takeaway, the mental model, like what exactly is the mental model behind velocity, giving you a far more deeper idea about it in an entertaining way. How many of you feel this is done really well by the super teacher? Just put plus one if you feel super teacher Gem has done a decent job of explaining it just because we have given specific instructions to it. Just put plus one in the chat so we get to know like whether you like the idea. Great. So similarly, you can make your own gems by giving super specific instructions. Maybe we could have improved the instructions if we had 10 minutes, but right now we kind of did it in a hurry. You don't have to do it in a hurry. You can take your own time, make a gem in 30 minutes. That's also good. But once you make it, you can actually use it frequently, right? How many of you have heard about something like Notebook LM? I'm sure like this is a super hit tool by Google. Again, this has been one of my favorites. Why? Because I kind of work a lot with documents. Now, recently, I was reading a document called AI Eats the World. It's like a 40-page report, like a very complex, very analytical kind of report. And while I was reading it, I was like feeling a little confused because there were so many things out there. And I uploaded this on Google's Notebook LM, and then converted that into something like a mind map, right? And I was able to kind of understand the whole thought process in which the whole book is being written, right? Because the Notebook LM converted that into mind maps. It also got me hooked into like creating something like a um, something like a PPT, right? So it converted the whole thing into PPT using Notebook LM, right? If you can see this now, the whole 40-page document is synthesized, made simpler, and now it is giving me in a way that I can understand better, right? So the platform shift on the history, I mean, it's done so well that if you really notice, Notebook LM's design is so good when it comes to understanding, you know, synthesizing information from the document. How's it? Right? I'm sure some of you would have tried this. Keep trying. This is using and getting better as well. You can also create something like cues right from the whole thing. You can even create reports, a study guide, and blog post and everything. These are very simple tools like which we have at our disposal. We can convert the whole thing into a audio overview, which means that a 20-minute podcast will be created like a two-host podcast of two people talking analytically about this, right? I mean, if you like the voice bit, yes, it works really well. It also can be converted into video, flashcards, right, infographics, slide deck, and all that, right? All you have to do is, yeah, upload that document. Now, when you create a new notebook, there are more opportunities here, right? It's not just that you just have to upload the document. You can connect it to the Google Drive. You can connect it to the website. If you don't want to watch the 2-hour podcast, you can actually put the link of the podcast into this and kind of extract the insights from there. You can upload the documents directly from your laptop as well, right? So the point here is that this is basically called retrieval augmented generation, where you are able to augment the documents which you upload and retrieve the right kind of information from it and amplify it by the intelligence which LLMs offer you, right? Right. How many of you feel that we are covering some useful things? Put +1 if you feel it's useful. Right. Now, ask your notes, right? Upload your class notes. It could be a written one, it could be images, it could be, images which you got on WhatsApp and all that. It's fine. All you can do is to get chaotic notes in one place, convert that into very clear documents on the other side, and have a chat with it. Each one of you has a unique way of understanding topics, right? And all you need is the basic level of curiosity and the ability to ask questions, right? That's all we need. This is called the query economy. All we need is queries, right? More and more queries, type it out, and the intelligent models are able to give you faster answers for this, right? Now, not sure how you prepare for exams. I think it's all about the last minute exam preparation. Yes, AI really helps you in getting there. You can generate practice questions. You can have FAQs, right? The best way to learn FAQ, I mean, anything is through creating FAQs, right? So upload the document, create 10 FAQs, give me questions and answers, right? So it's always the question which triggers us. Like, hey, there is a question, I want to know the answer, right? It's not the plain text which helps us to learn, right? So plain text is sometimes boring, but if there is a question and if there is an answer, we want to learn, right? This is a whole psychology behind question guides, right? The whole textbook is converted into FAQs, and people buy more of it, like maybe paying three times more than the real textbook itself, right? Because it's the psychology of question and answer. Now, how do you do research? Like, if you want to kind of go deep and do research, yes, Gemini has an interesting agent inside that, which is called Deep Research Agent. It's a fantastic model. What I would want you to do is go to Gemini. It's a free tool again. You can go and do deep research, right? On one subject, right? If you want to go deeper, it can go and crawl up to 150 plus websites, right? And fetch you like the right mandated research thing into like a 30-page report, right? So imagine visiting 150 plus websites. It'll take you half a day, and then converting that report into like in a curated form would probably never happen, right? So that's where the deep research works. I just want to show you how deep research works in some cases. Um, okay, I think I will leave it there. So the idea here is to try this deep research agent inside Gemini. And Gemini also has something called Help Me Learn, right? If you notice, ChatGPT has study and learn. Gemini has helped me learn and guided learning. Every AI model has come up with something called Help Me Learn, right? Now, what would I want to learn? So, for example, if I want to learn calculus, right, where do I start? Most of the textbooks on calculus will scare you away, right? I mean, we'll never go there again, right? But you need to know, you need to kind of have an appetite to learn a hard subject and the comfort level to approach that subject. And that's what AI is giving you, starting with very basic things, helping you to understand, hey, this is the way you can start. You don't have to start hard. You can start very slow and soft and still yet reach there. Got it, right? So, different possibilities. People say that AI produces inaccurate information. It's because people don't give enough of context to it, right? You have AI giving you verified source of truth, citations, references, and all that. It'll also help you detect its own biases. So, which means that if you are doubtful about any AI output, right, you can ask to explain how you have arrived at this output. Right, it is going to explain one by one, step by step, and say, "Hey, this is the way the whole thought process has been to produce that output." You can also say verify these claims. If you kind of feel that these claims are too much, right? You can ask AI to say verify the claims, right? It is going to list out all the claims it is kind of put out and say these are verified, this is not verified, all that, right? Which means that you're using AI itself to verify sources, detect biases, and all that. How many of you use Perplexity regularly? Put plus one on the chat if you use that. If you don't use it's minus one, okay? Is absolutely fine. Just want to know, like, get some reactions from you because you're hiding behind the screen. Let's go and see Perplexity, okay? Now, the idea of Perplexity is very different from the Google search itself, right? Now, what if I want to know, like, top 10 AI models and its differentiators in a table for analytics with examples, right? You can't do this Google search, right? So it'll give you top AI models but it probably may not be able to give a table. It may not be able to give differentiators for analytics as a use case with examples. Let's see how Perplexity is able to do that. Now, Perplexity made model name, the different models, the key differentiators, and example use cases. And it is going to, like, it's already going to almost 10 different sources to get there, right? So it's not an LLM, it's not a large language model, but it's a web AI powered um, search engine, which allows you to kind of do all kinds of real time web search, but at the same time curate the output in any way you like, right? So table or whatever, right? This is super interesting. Why? Because you have some related questions which come in. Now, what if you don't know what are the next questions you can ask? Like, you can always go to Perplexity and expand your learning into a natural curiosity path, right? Right? How many of you use this? Put +1, or how many of you feel this could be useful? I'm looking at the chat. How many +1s are coming here? Right? Build with AI. We spoke about Google Gemini. Let's also talk about custom GPTs in ChatGPT, right? Now, this is like a GPT store, just like Play Store, where you can actually build small task agents, right? Uh, yeah, if you don't have a paid version of ChatGPT, it's fine. What you can do is you can actually go and explore the GPT store and start using it, right? For a user, you don't need a paid version. So there are so many interesting GPTs out there which you can start using and exploring um, for doing various things, right? Including writing, productivity, and all that, right? Now, if you want to create a GPT, it's so simple, just like how we made Google Gem, right? All you can do is to go and write the instructions, what you want to build, and then a GPT can be made and it can be shared. Whole repeated tasks can be done with this. So essentially, it becomes a co-creator for us, right? Now, you can actually think of doing something new, like in a week's time, like just by getting business plan and branding with ChatGPT, financial logic with Claude, Gamma preparing your pitch deck and Lovable your first landing page, right? This is the speed at which you can operate. I said 1 week, but it can be done in probably 1 or 2 days, right? If you have the mindset for that. And this is like the fastest ever way to start something new, um, which is enabled by AI, right? Now, we can also create your own AI brand studio, like with ChatGPT, Canva, Nano Banana. How many of you have used Nano Banana? Put +1 in the chat. I'm sure a lot of young people like the fact that Nano Banana is like, image editing and can play around for all the Instagram pictures, right? Um, it's super interesting because the image editing skills are really good, right? Just to give an example here, so this is the image which I put, like change the background to a golf course. So this is an image which was taken inside a room, like a hall, and then the whole. I just said change the background to a golf course. It created pretty, interesting thing, right? This is how, yeah, Nano Banana can actually help you do interesting stuff, right? So there is a whole prompt library for Nano Banana, right, which will help you to kind of do various things. So this is a very strong competition for a lot of image editing software um, moving forward. No code web app builder. We spoke about Google Gemini, Google AI Studio. You have Lovable as well, right? So Lovable gives you like enough of credits for you to kind of work around, at least make some 3 4 website or landing pages for you to start. All you have to do is to tell what you want to build, right? I want a minimalistic landing page for this particular product, and this is the copy, right? And you can take the copy from ChatGPT, work around that, bring it here, and then ask Lovable to build a proper landing page. And if you notice some of the templates and landing pages which Lovable has done, it's pretty good. Like you can have a look at the kind of templates and um, work which people have already done with Lovable, right? It's fascinating. Its UI is good, all that. Explainer video creator. Now that's where the VO3 is coming. Gemini's VO3 is the most interesting model for free users to go around and try build your own videos, right? So recently, I was kind of making a small video. This was actually for um, this for a new museum. There's an ad for a museum.
Mama, what is this place?
This is where our story begins.
Mama.
The idea was like, okay, you write the script with ChatGPT, with the dialogue and background music and the whole direction of the whole scene, and it is able to produce that 8 second of video, right? So the VO3 is really good. I don't know whether you heard the dialogue and you could hear that, yeah, and uh, there are a lot of possibilities with VO3 itself to make small explainer videos, content, and everything, right? There are tools like Runway ML, um, which is truly filmmaking at next level. If you plan to start an agency or something, all you have to do is $30 per month, and you can start working with Runway ML and start selling AI films to brands, right? And at the quality, the character consistency, it can produce 4K level videos, right? So that's the beauty of these platforms. So I mean, what I'm trying to tell you is that once you start exploring these things, you'll be able to figure out what you really want to do with this, right? If you want to create infographics, carousels, um, websites, presentations, right? Um, Images, videos, all possible with this. So we are using AI as like a teammate who can do a lot of things, including editing, video generation, strategy, analysis, writing, right, rewriting, summarizing, right. You're talking about a whole range of activities. So when in doubt, what I do is, like, for example, I am a learner, right, and want to blend generative AI capabilities in learning and give me a table of 20 things that I can do with examples. So I'm a learner of AI, right? And want to blend Gen AI capabilities in learning and give me a table for 20 things that I can do uh, with AI in examples, right? So you can consult with AI to see what should be your approach in terms of becoming a learner in Gen AI and what should be a learning move. What can AI help you to do with? And give me an example for that. So I'm going to share this bit of prompt to you, so you can also try that on the, I'm just putting on the chat. Like, it's not a perfect prompt, but the output was good enough for it to understand like what we wanted. It gave me 20 different ways in which AI can be used for learning, AI itself, right? With examples. And yeah, the learning move, what AI does for you, an example you can try. What do you think about this? Right? It might look very simple, but I think if you start practicing these things daily, um, I'm sure that you're going to be changing your approach like in 90 days time, right? You start doing this every day, say like probably for 1 hour. The way you think, the way you collaborate with AI, it becomes a co-intelligence exercise. Like, so you're not just asking it to create output as a shortcut, you are actually using it as a cognitive leverage, right? You are using your brain, you're asking interesting questions, you're getting it back, you're feeding yourself well. So it's a very intelligent exchange we're doing with AI, not just getting some work done with it, you know as a shortcut, right? So that's the approach which um, essentially I like to do. So I'm sure some of you may agree with me on this. If you want to like do market research, do competition research, bring about all that, like if you like the part of research, as I told you, like Gemini's deep research is a great way to start. What if you want to start comparing companies and spot strategic gaps? So there is enough of space for curiosity in this in this world, right? Earlier, when we were curious, it took a lot of efforts for us to go and gather that information. That the information gathering itself was so tough that people, 95% of the people will not venture into it, right? So here we can get the curated the most interesting way, the way you want, all that right in front of you. And I feel this is a great opportunity for people to learn, research, work, and build things. How many of you have done data analysis with AI? Like, I mean, how many of you hate data analysis, by the way, right? And I think most of us like probably may not want to spend a lot of time in Excel sheets, right? I've spoken to even analysts, like they hate it, right? So imagine us, right? But data is important, right? So data, I mean, even if you don't like the fact that you have to work on data, AI can help you to do that. So here is an opportunity where, like a tool like Claude, right, can do a great job of, say, just want to give you an example of which is already done, so that we save time here. So in this case, interactive data visualization. Mm, So essentially here it is, right? So you put your data into it, right? Upload the Excel sheet, and it is able to generate a visually interactive dashboard, and that is possible with Claude. All you have to do is to upload your Excel sheet into it, and you can do this, right? So Claude is a great tool for such logic. You can also think of connecting your AI models with other apps. Say, for example, in ChatGPT, you can go to settings, go to apps and connectors, and you should be in a position to add any number of apps which is there in the ecosystem as of now. So I've added Gmail, Google Drive, and Notion. I've added Canva also, which means I can make the presentations inside ChatGPT, connecting it to Canva, right? It's really good. So I'm going to show you something, just what we did. Right. I mean, it's a lot, so it's okay. So what you can do is you can put at Canva and then give content there, right, as a slide copy, and it'll go to Canva, execute the presentation, bring it back to the ChatGPT, right? So you can click and it'll go to Canva, and then you can edit a little bit, and the work is done. So if you have a 20 slide content for Canva, it will easily take you 1 hour to build that, and here is where it's done in 5 minutes. All you have to do is to go there and edit a little bit, sometimes the name and logo and all that, it's done, right? So that's the way you can connect your AI assistant models like ChatGPT or Claude with external apps. This is called assistant connectors. Deep research and agentic browsers. How many of you have heard about agentic browser of called Comet? So Perplexity has something called an agentic browser, which is called as the Comet. Okay. So what you can do is you can open the Comet browser of Perplexity. You have to download that first of all, the Comet browser, and this is an agentic browser. Okay. Imagine you are going to like say um, Uber. So I'm going to Uber website and I'm asking the assistant model to read the home page and suggest better UX copy, right, for the website. So once we do this, it actually goes to the page, read the entire page, and gives me this, right? Now you see this, it's given better suggestions for the UX copy with examples. So this is the agentic browser. Imagine this is an Excel sheet. You can ask like, what's happening with the data? How many people are there? This. I mean, you can have a query-based understanding of the whole thing. So this is about agentic browsers. It's the early stage of the agentic browsers. You have OpenAI, Atlas is another agentic browser. So all I have to tell you is that it's a real advantage, and we can learn a lot of things faster. You can also create real work portfolios because ultimately in the new world, people don't care about the resumes. They care about the work you've done. Um, you know, um, the initiative you have taken to build things, right? That would be more valued ever. And this is like a heavy lifter. So AI is doing all the heavy lifting for us, and we are like the manager of that heavy lifter, which means that you have a huge leverage um, with AI, right? So that's the short thing which I want to share with you. I hope it was useful. If you feel it's useful, put +1 in the chat. Put your comments, put your questions. We have some 5-10 minutes left before we wind up.
I have a question, Krishna Kumar. That is, uh, everybody that you have given us a very what do you call effective way of utilizing AI and the different tools which are available to make it happen. But there is always this question, especially for students, because academicians have not yet completely what do you call completely in sync with it. There is a lot of uh, queries they have, and they are worried that people are going to copy. You're not going to be thinking. So you have shown us methods by which you can actually learn a lot more. But is there this what do you call it? Will there be a problem of people getting so used to interacting with AI and the tools that are there that you are not able to fit back into the real way of doing things?
So this is going to be the real way of moving forward. So what is the real way, right? I feel that the queries, the conversations, the natural curiosity you have will lead to better learning than trying to push content to people who like are forced to learn something or sometimes even forced to memorize something, right? Which is not really working out for 95% of the people, right? You may see exceptional 5% of people who would have cracked brilliant exams and all that, but I mean, we have to take care of the rest of the
Yeah.
people as well, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if the rest of the people are able to come forward, learn things better, I think the economy is going to improve. They're going to be more hopeful. They can learn. They can do things more independently, right? I think that's where AI is helping. It's not for the only for the brilliant, right? It's for everyone, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thought, because it's sort of leveling the space for more people, more average people, no, averages and quotations, those of us who think we have not performed well, to also be able to excel. Yeah, that's a very good point that you've made. Another question I have is, uh, uh, like, everybody, do you need big, powerful laptop? Like, I mean, by configuration to use any of these tools, or a regular,
Nothing, regular stuff.
nothing, regular stuff?
All of these tools are apps as well, so it will run on any of the smartphones.
Hmm.
And like browsers are like, I mean, it works on any laptop, literally.
Okay.
It works on the browser basically.
Hmm. Okay. There, I think people will have questions, but not sure whether they put in anything yet. But one more question that I have is, uh, why are people so scared about, like, one of the things that I got a little, I mean, it's quite astonishing to see the image you showed, right, of people standing inside a room, and then when you say golf course, and it is almost perfect. So how will we be able to detect if something is being, is like a, for example, a photographer, they will, their copyright will be on the photographs that they've taken, but if somebody changes it and puts it as theirs, how will we be able to detect that, or will we have to stop doing it? How is the way going forward?
I think every decade has its own way of looking at the original content. Right, last decade we spoke about content which is original, and
Hmm.
you credited the creator for that. Right now, you credit the user for that. So right now, if I get a picture, I can manipulate it and the way I want to make it, like I can make it. Right, so it's again democratizing a lot of things. Right, AI is democratizing learning, creation, production, coding, all
Hmm.
of that. Like, so how do we use this? So there is no point of return for this, right? The technology has kind of advanced so much that it is going to be part of all the work we do. It is the layer of every app we use, right? I mean, you can't escape from it. All we can do is to see how we can use this as an opportunity and become AI native in the process.
So what you're also saying, what we are always coming to hear of it, is that unless you get to learn to use it effectively for your good, you will become redundant in multiple ways, right? You'll be left behind because everybody else is going to be picking it up and learning it.
Great.
So
Wonderful. I think I'll have to stop now here
yeah,
and
yeah, I know you have a
leave now.
session coming up. Yeah.
I hope it was useful. I mean, I don't see any response from people, but hopefully they have kind of taken some ideas from today's session.
Yeah.
If you feel that some of the ideas were useful, you can always put +1 on the chat. So as a reaction and as a conclusion to this particular session, right?
So that I would respond. I would like students who are listening in to please do that. That's your way of showing your appreciation for Krishna Kumar coming and sharing his really interesting way, how he's very simply explained to us how we can use the different tools to empower ourselves in multiple ways. Yeah. Thank you so much. But I think there's somebody here to officially say thank you. So I think, yeah.
No problem. Let's keep it informal. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are many multiple pluses, and session was useful. Thank you for the insight, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks
Yeah,
for.
Jovia, can you quickly go, because he's got another
Yeah,
session.
sure. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So once again, good evening, everyone. So on behalf of SkillActz and everyone gathered here today, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Krishna Kumar, for taking the time to share his valuable insights on artificial intelligence with us. So I myself feel that I'm lucky to be a part of your class, sir, and I'm confident that all participants will leave this session with meaningful and actionable takeaways that will positively contribute to their academic and also their professional journeys ahead. So, once again, thank you so much, sir, for an enlightening and engaging session. I would also like to thank our 20 team for the dedication and efforts in organizing this event and ensuring its smooth execution. I also thank all of you for your active presence and engagement. Kindly remember to fill out the Google form that will be shared to receive your certificate participation. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Krishnuma. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Uh,
Min.
Yeah, I won't keep you because you've got something lined up. So thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.